up on UCF Sports Night, making an immediate impact. We introduce you to the junior newcomers on the baseball team. And we sit down with women's tennis head coach Stephanie Nikitas to talk about her team's blazing hot start. All that and more next on UCF Sports Night.
UCF Sports Night is brought to you by UCF TV.
What's up, Night fans? Welcome once again to UCF Sports Night. I'm your host, Jeff Sharon. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. It was another busy week of UCF sports. And in this week's show, we've got a look at the junior newcomers at UCF baseball and the immediate impact they're having for Coach Terry Rooney's program. But first, we start with a look at men's basketball as they faced a tough conference test in the dungeon against UAB. UAB's been ranked in the top 25 this season, and UCF saw why early as the Blazers took a big lead out of the gate. But the Knights chipped away in the first half, and right before the break, they got a spark from Isaac Sosa as he cans this three at the buzzer. Isaac led the Knights with 15 points. UCF came back to tie this game in the second half, but UAB eventually came out on top in a very physical and tight ball game. Final score 53-49. Meanwhile, women's tennis was supposed to play South Florida at home, but heavy rains forced a cancellation. They'll try to make it up at a later date. Up in Gainesville, the baseball team rallied from down 7 runs to get within 1, but eventually fell to 5th-ranked Florida. Chris Duffy was 3 for 5 with a home run and 2 RBIs. And a thriller in Jacksonville as Vanessa Perez hit a dramatic 2-run home run in the 10th inning to lift the softball team over UNF 5-3. Ashley Cole pitched all 10 frames for UCF. The next day in Dallas, women's hoops fought hard but came up short against SMU. Asia Patrick led UCF with 12 points, and Danae Daniels chipped in with 10. Also, Emma Cannon had 8 plus 16 boards off the bench. On to Friday, and the baseball team welcomed Siena for a 3-game set at the baseball complex. The Saints took a 3-0 lead early, but then UCF fought back. Kevin Vasquez first tied it up with this RBI double, and then Chris Talladay provided the big blow here as he blasts this one to right for his first home run as a Knight, and UCF would go on to an 8-3 victory over Siena. Elsewhere, up in Columbus, Georgia, the softball team started its journey against 5 of the top teams in the nation at the NFCA Leadoff Classic. They started with a date against number 11 Georgia Tech. It didn't go as planned as Tech squeaked by with a 1-0 win despite a stellar outing from Ashley Cole in the circle. The second game of the day also didn't go the Knights' way as Arkansas got the victory despite a pair of hits from Abby McLean. Meanwhile, men's tennis came up with a big road win at UNF up in Jacksonville. Johan Biegert rallied from down a set to get the clinching point for the Knights. Saturday, a day of thrillers for UCF teams, starting with baseball against Siena, second game of the series. Very tight game throughout, but UCF was down 5-4 in the 9th when Chris Talladay loops this one to left, scoring Darnell Sweeney and sending this one to extra innings. We go to the 12th frame. One on for Bo Taylor. He singles this one to right. That scores Sweeney again, and the Knights get the victory 6-5 in 12 thrilling innings. Elsewhere, up in Huntington, West Virginia, the men's basketball team faced Marshall in another thriller. What an end to regulation as the Knights score 7 straight to tie it, including this bomb from A.J. Ramsa. And then with time running out, Isaac Sosa nails this 3-pointer to knot the thing up. 2 overtimes, not enough to settle it. We'd go to 3 before the Knights finally ran out of steam, and Marshall gets the win in a thriller for the ages in triple overtime. Women's hoops had a thriller of its own up in Tulsa as Chelsea Wiley tossed in a game-winning shot with just 0.4 of a second to go, lifting the Knights over the Golden Hurricane 50-49. Softball picked up a split on day 2 of the NFCA Classic against Maryland. Ashley Cole was outstanding again on the mound, but the Terrapins squeaked by with the victory. In Game 2, though, a pair of home runs, one from Mary Helen Tyler and the other from Ariel Palafox, helped the Knights score a 5-4 win in 8 innings. Senior Hillary Barrow had the winning RBI in the extra frame. Women's tennis continues to roll as they knocked off Florida Atlantic down in Boca Raton 4-3 over the weekend. Freshman Jenna Dorfler scored the winning point by taking her match in 3 sets at the number 4 position. The Knights are now 6-1 to start the season. And more great news for softball as they defeat number 9 Alabama in their final game of the NFCA Classic by a final score of 3-2. Ashley Cole outstanding again in the circle as she made the Knights' 3 spot in the bottom of the first inning stand up. It's UCF's 3rd win over an SEC team this season, and they finished the tournament with 2 consecutive victories. Track and field had the Conference USA Indoor Championships in Houston, Texas this weekend. The Knights finished in 5th place as a team. Jackie Coward took home the conference championship in the 60-meter hurdles, followed by teammate Tiki James in 2nd place. A very good weekend for UCF as now they turn to the outdoor season. The baseball team finished up its series sweep of Siena with a victory in a 10-8 slugfest also on Sunday. Chris Talladay pounded out 3 doubles, and Bo Taylor smacked a 2-run shot. It's his team-leading 3rd home run on the year, tied with Chris Duffy. And finally, men's tennis wrapped up their week against Florida A&M at home. A big day all around for the Knights as they swept the doubles point and all singles matches in straight sets. Claudio Romano and Brock Sakey again came up big at number 3 doubles with an 8-5 win, and the Knights advanced to 5-2 on the season thanks to the 7-0 victory. And of course, if you want some more news, scores, and features from every UCF sport, all you've got to do is log on to UCFathletics.com, your online home for UCF sports. Coming up next here on UCF Sports Night, we take a look at the junior newcomers on the baseball team. They've been brought in to provide some leadership, and so far it has paid dividends for the Knights. Stick around, UCF Sports Night returns in a moment. Knight fans, the baseball team is in action this weekend for a 3-game series against Central Michigan at the baseball complex. Tickets are available now. More information at 407-UCF-1000 and at UCFathletics.com. Welcome back to UCF Sports Night. Well, after a rough season in 2009, head coach Terry Rooney brought in 21 new players to the UCF baseball team, including 11 freshmen and 10 juniors. Well, they added up to a consensus top 10 recruiting class. Now, the freshmen, they've got time to develop. But for the juniors, they were brought in to contribute immediately on the mound, in the field, and at the plate. And so far, they've paid big dividends for Coach Rooney and the Knights on the diamond. We've got a look at the junior newcomers on the UCF baseball team in our Sports Night Spotlight.
Coming to UCF as a junior transfer, I mean, it's been an awesome experience. You know, you've got 2 years under your belt already from a JUCO school. You're coming into a program that is basically asking you to set the tone and be part of the foundation of Coach Rooney's recruiting class and bring this program up. So it's pretty cool. I like it.
One of the biggest differences I think coming to a big, D1 campus is just the whole environment itself. They take baseball very seriously, as they should, and it's awesome. You got a lot more fans. It's a good environment. They treat us, fairly, and we know what we have to get done. So
we all provide leadership in different ways. Me and Derek are the juniors on the infield, so we kind of take over the infield. And we have 2 years under our belt in junior college, which prepared us pretty well for that. Pitching staff, Sedlock and JM and Dew. We're all pretty close. We played against each other throughout the past 2 years, and we bonded pretty close.
It's been really easy transferring as far as that goes because we've got such great leadership. They've already got everything set. They've had a year under their belt with Coach Rooney, and they know what he expects, so they hold us accountable for the highest level. Well, when he talked to me, he told me he wanted me to bring to the table, obviously, a left-handed arm. They had none last year. and basically bringing JUCO experience and coming in and setting the tone and being an immediate impact for this program. So those were the basic things that he wanted me to come in as a junior doing.
Coming in, I didn't know quite what to expect, but he laid it on the table right away. He told us what to expect and what he wanted of us, and I think we've adjusted pretty well, and we're doing a pretty decent job. Us JUCO guys, we bring to the table. We know, we've been there. We've seen college pitching, hit against college pitching, and we know a little more of what to expect and how to adjust. And I think we can help lead the younger guys a little bit and show them, what to expect, help them.
I think this team can accomplish anything. I really think we can do anything. We've got great arms. We've got a great defense. Our lineup is just endless. We have power. We have speed. You name it, we have it. As far as just actually getting the job done, I think that's what's going to determine how far we go. And I think we can go as far as we want to go, which is all the way to the World Series.
I think the sky's the limit, really, I do. We can play with anybody, and Coach Rooney tells us that all the time, and I think we all believe it too.
Let's go, 3, 1, 2, 3, let's go!
Well, Coach Rooney and his team have a big 3-game series with Central Michigan at the baseball complex this coming weekend. For more information on the UCF baseball team, visit ucfathletics.com. Don't go away, because coming up next on UCF Sports Night, we sit down with Stephanie Nikitas, the head coach of the UCF women's tennis team. They are off to a blistering hot start to the 2010 season. We've got that and more when we return. Knight fans, softball season is in full swing. Season and single game tickets are still available. More information at 407 UCF 1000 and at UCFathletics.com.
An innovative anthrax vaccine, promising research on cancer, Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, and advanced laser developments. In their search for new answers and better solutions, UCF professors are awarded millions of dollars in research funding each year. Needless to say, we're all quite proud of them. UCF stands for opportunity.
Welcome back to UCF Sports Night. We're talking a little women's tennis now. They are off to a great start to the 2010 season. And joining me now is their head coach, Stephanie Nikitas. Coach, how are you?
Great, thanks, Jeff.
Thanks for coming on the show. We have, well, like we said, great start to the season so far. What's your evaluation of it? How well has the team performed in your eyes?
They've been doing a great job. Everybody as a group, being 5-1 right now is a good start, and they've been doing the things we've been asking for them, and we've been excited about what we've seen so far.
Like you said before, it begins and ends with leadership. You got some great leadership up in the front with Jenny Frizzell, you're a junior, Katie Orletsky, a senior. How big have they been for you in the first few weeks of the season?
They've been great. I mean, leadership is always a huge aspect of any team, and definitely in tennis as well, with small numbers, and we've got those girls, stepping up and leading in many different ways, on the court, off the court. So we look to them for their guidance, and they've been doing a great job.
We talked before the season about your super sophomores, the 3 of them, and they have also stepped up, and even I've noticed that their games have really matured this year as well.
Absolutely, yeah. I can't tell you how much they have. Christy's coming back from her shoulder surgery and doing a great job, playing some amazing doubles right now, and looking to get into singles soon. Alexis is just hitting the ball tremendously, playing amazing. Had a great win the other day in a tight match, which should be confidence building for her. And Andrea is also playing great. Came back from a little bit of injury in the fall, and has really stepped up and doing great at number 2 for us.
Now, we've talked before about your freshmen, and I know how proud you are of them. And Jenna Dorfler and Allison Hodges on the court have also been key players, especially in singles, I know.
Absolutely. We rely on everybody, and the freshmen have stepped up and moved into their positions well, and they're not really nervous anymore, and just are going out there and taking care of business and doing their job. Awesome. You have a tough schedule this year. You've already gone through quite a bit of it, and to come out
on the end of that with starting your first 6 at 5-1 has been impressive. And now it just continues. It's like Murderer's Row now. So tell me about the rest of the schedule, the rest of the way.
We have a great schedule coming up. March is filled with home matches, which is perfect for us to be able to play. Hopefully it warms up here pretty soon and we get some heat that we want to play in and bring down some teams from up north. But we've got Harvard coming in, Akron, New Mexico, UAB, a conference school. A mix of others, so we're excited about our home schedule coming up.
All right, and we'll be there. And for more information on the women's tennis team, be sure to visit UCFathletics.com, including a look at the upcoming schedule. Head coach Stephanie Nikitas, women's tennis, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, stick around. Coming up next on UCF Sports Night, we've got a look at our plays of the week and a busy week ahead. Don't go away. We're back in a moment. Knight fans, season tickets for the 2010 football season are available now. More information at 407 UCF 1000 and at UCFathletics.com. Welcome back to UCF Sports Night. We've got our plays of the week on deck, and also we'll look at a very busy week ahead in UCF Sports. But first, we've got some awards to pass out in our news and notes. Congrats to UCF sophomore catcher Bo Taylor. He's been named Conference USA's Hitter of the Week for his outstanding performance on opening weekend against Savannah State. The Rockledge, Florida native went 8 for 12 at the plate over the 3-game series, smashing 2 home runs, knocking in 5 RBIs, scoring 5 runs of his own, and he was solid on defense as well, throwing out a pair of runners on the base paths. In Game 2 of the series, Taylor was a career-best 5 of 6 at the plate with a home run, 3 RBIs, and a career-high 4 runs scored. And senior Brock Sakey has been named Conference USA's Men's Tennis Player of the Week. The Gulf Breeze native went undefeated in 2 singles and 2 doubles matches at FAU and Miami last week. Sakey has returned from missing all of last season with an injury to post a 4-1 record in his first 5 singles matches in 2010. This is the first Conference Player of the Week award of his career. Time now for our Sports Night Plays of the Week. Here's play number 3.
Ramsa looking for Sosa. To the corner, ball is knocked in. Sosa trapped towards the corner, throws up a 3. Got it! Oh, with a second to go! He hit the 3!
Here's a look at play number 2. And finally, here's play number 1. And those are your Sports Night Plays of the Week. Lots of spring action continues in the week ahead. The slate begins on Wednesday with baseball. They take on UNF at home. First pitch for that game is at 6:30 p.m. and you can see it on UCFathletics.com. Meanwhile, on the road, women's basketball has a matchup at Southern Miss. Tip is at 8 p.m. and the game is live on UCFathletics.com as well. Friday begins with women's tennis. They take on Louisiana Lafayette at the tennis complex at 2 p.m. Meanwhile, softball kicks off its last tournament of the early part of the season with a doubleheader at home against Harvard at 3:30 and College of Charleston at 8. The next day, the softball Knights face Providence at 1:30 and Boston College at 6 at the softball complex. And finally on Sunday, UCF faces Georgia Southern at 1 p.m. All the games from the tournament are live on UCFathletics.com. Meanwhile, their counterparts on the baseball team have a 3-game weekend set with Central Michigan at home. Games are at their normal time, 6:30 on Friday, 4 on Saturday, and 1 on Sunday. You can see all the action on UCFathletics.com. Both tennis teams are in action on Saturday as well. Women's tennis faces Harvard at home at 2 p.m. Meanwhile, the men are on the road, same time, 2 p.m. at Clemson up in South Carolina. Also on the road, men's basketball faces Rice in Houston at 3 p.m. You can catch the action on the Knights flagship station, 740 The Game, or at UCFathletics.com. And the rowing team has its first meet of the spring in Winter Park at the Metro Cup. That event goes on all day. The men's tennis team has another road match on their trip up to South Carolina. They take on Winthrop up in Clemson at 10 a.m. on Sunday. Tuesday, softball has another midweek non-conference matchup, this time with the Black Bears of Maine. First pitch is at 3 p.m. and the game is live at UCFathletics.com. And baseball has a huge game at home against the Miami Hurricanes at the baseball complex on Tuesday night. First pitch for that game is at 7:05, and you can see all the action live on UCFathletics.com. On the air on Mondays, make sure you tune in for the Kirk Speraw Radio Show. Join the Knights head coach along with Mark Daniels live from Smoky Bones in Waterford Lakes at 7 p.m. You can hear the show live on 740 The Game and at UCFathletics.com. Also, make sure you tune in for UCF Sports Today with Kirk Speraw as Mark Daniels sits down with Coach to talk UCF hoops, along with plenty of insight, analysis, and in-depth features. The show debuts Tuesdays on Sun Sports at 4 p.m. and airs all week on Bright House Sports Network and UCF TV. And don't forget, you can catch UCF Sports Night debuting every Tuesday afternoon on UCF TV and also airing on Sun Sports and Bright House Sports Network. Check your local listings for details. And for all the latest news, scores, and features from every UCF sport, log on to UCFathletics.com, your 24/7 online home for UCF sports. And of course, if you want to catch this edition of UCF Sports Night again, or you want to see any of our archived editions, you can anytime you want online. All you've got to do is log on to UCF TV's website, which is at www.ucf.tv, or log on to UCFathletics.com. Well, that's going to do it for us for this week here on UCF Sports Night. We'll catch you again next week. For all of us here at UCF Athletics and UCF TV, I'm Jeff Sharon saying have a great week and go Knights!
Hey, this is LT from 101.1 WJRR. You're listening to the best sounds of area music. UCF Athletics, Access Magazine, and WJRR are proud to support local artists. You can find more great artists by going online at www.wjrr.com and also accessmag.com. And by listening to Native Noise each and every Sunday at 11 o'clock.
UCF Sports Night is brought to you by UCF TV.